Welcome back, everybody. So leg day today. We're obviously going to start with the hamstrings as we usually do. I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but I do hamstrings first, not because of any particular reason, but for me, the rest of the workout feels good after versus doing quads first and then hamstrings. I don't know, it's kind of like my joints, knee joints specifically, feel a little bit better when I go and do quads, which I guess it makes sense because obviously you're doing 4 sets of this. That joint is being moved anyway, so it's getting warm and nice. And then you go and do quads, which is obviously a lot more taxing, or at least in my opinion it is. I don't know anybody who would argue with that, to be fair. I think quads are more taxing than pretty much anything else, any other muscle group or muscle in our bodies. But yeah, that's kind of like why I do hamstrings first. I think that's pretty much with every single workout, unless I'm going to do 2 exercises. I might do squats first and then do some hamstring movements, I guess. But yeah, we're going to start here. 4 sets, 3 proper, then a drop set. So I have... What's that? 75? Is that 75? Can't see. Yeah, 75 and 2.5. So, early math, 77.5 kilos. We're going to rep that one, as I said, 3 times, and then we're going to do a drop set here. And then we're going to go and we're going to do some leg press. And then at the end, I might actually do some Smith squats, but only 2 sets. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, let's just do this one. So, gonna get the second one out of the way. One of the things that I wanted to say is when you do exercises and the type of exercise, if it's a machine, or even if it's not a machine, even if it's free weights, but if the type of exercise in general, machine or free weights, doesn't matter. If the type allows you to do partial reps, so half reps, do them. You don't have to do them on every set. You don't have to do them every day. But I'm saying don't be afraid to do them. There's nothing wrong with them. They will grow more muscle as a result if you do them constantly. And they're a nice way to kind of like really go beyond failure. Because obviously you can't complete a full ROM rep, full range of motion rep anymore. That's why you do partials. Obviously, it always happens at the end of the set, never at the beginning of the set, obviously. But yeah, I mean, if you can do them, do them. And this is I was going to say, this is one of the exercises which I can easily do partials just because of the type of exercise, the way of the exercise. Ergonomically, it's easy to do. Versus if I was doing good mornings, partial reps are a bit of an issue. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. On partial reps, do them. You'll probably see me do them quite a lot when I do shoulders and arms. It's the same principle, really. But yeah, if you can do them, if the type of exercise allows you, do them. Oh. Ah. Oh. Ah. Right, and for the drop set, I'm not going into this stress, and what I mean by that is I didn't really spend too much time on recovering as I usually do between proper sets. It's a drop set. At the end of the day, I'm probably going to do the same amount of reps, give or take. I'm actually hoping to do a few more. We went from 77.5 down to 62.5, so it's quite a drop, but it should be good enough. Whoa, that hurts. In a good way, but it still hurts. Alright, so we're done here. We're gonna move to the leg press. I'm pretty sure I showed you what I do for the leg press last time, but it's a bit different than what most people do. So I'm gonna move over there, get situated, and then show you what that looks like. Oh. Right, so a couple of differences. Usually, obviously we don't have these usually, so that's a 15 kilo plate plus some padding so my back doesn't break on it. I'm joking, it's not gonna break me, but you know what I mean. So point is, I have this there, so it will push my back even further, which will allow me to really stress the squats. And I'm going to show you what this looks like in a sec. But for the most part, that's the difference. We used to have 10 kilos under there, not 15, but we're going to go with 15 today. So we have even more leverage. And I'm going to show you what I mean when I say leverage. But essentially, since you're pushed forward, it will allow you to stretch your quads even further on the way down. And then obviously we're going to take our heels off the leads. You heard that right. We're going to take our heels off the leads and we're going to be on our toes on the way down. So sort of the usual cues apply here as well. You're going to have your toes around shoulder width, at around shoulder width. Your toes are going to be pointing outwards, so your knees can go out and don't hit your torso on the way down, because obviously that will limit your range of motion. Simple stuff. You should be doing them when you do leg press without, when you just do leg press, you should be doing that. It should be just be the standard, the norm. I know some people don't do it, but that's all right. Feet shoulder width, and then your toes are pointing outwards. That's the two things. We obviously have the plate in the back, which has pushed me forward. So on the way down, I will actually be able to stretch my quads even more. And the other thing, also you actually, let's start the set. First set. So your feet should be rather low on the leads. And on the way down, as you come down, your heels are going to come off, which is natural. You want that because that stretches your quads so much. And then you push up. When you push up, obviously your heels go back on the leads, which is fun. Now I'm going to stop talking so I can do the set because it does require a little bit of focus. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it hits different. It's such a different exercise when you do it this way. Generally speaking, any sort of exercise that you do, where you're very actively trying to directly or indirectly make the stretched position stronger. By stronger, I mean stretch the muscles to the utmost extent, to the extent where your own body will not allow you to stretch them further. It's such a good thing for hypertrophy. Obviously, do that with some safeties on. But yeah, other than that, it should be all right. So the difference is, obviously, again, feet at shoulder width, toes are pointing outwards, so your knees don't hit your torso on the way down. You control the eccentric. The moment you lock out at the top, you're starting to come back down instantly. You don't need to stop that. It's kind of like a rest position up there. If you want to pause at the bottom when the quads are stretched. Actually, if you can do that, that would be fantastic, because that's going to give you even more of a stimulus to your quads. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we only have like 100 kilos on the leads, plus whatever the leads is, 140, 160, whatever the leads are these days. This one's quite a heavy one. It's pure steel. But yeah, let's call it 140 for argument's sake. I'm pretty sure it's a bit more than that, but it doesn't matter. So 140 is usually how much I squat for. So you don't really need to go much heavier than you usually squat. I know people put a lot of weight on the leg press because they can move it and it looks cool, but they sacrifice the range of motion and they're not doing it properly. So why do it? But yeah, if you do it this way, I promise you, your quads are going to be burning at the end of the workout, which is obviously what you want. So I don't know if I'm going to do 2 more sets and then a drop set. I might as well just do 4 sets and no drop set here if I'm going to do squats after. We'll see. It always depends when it comes to legs, because I don't really know how I'm going to feel at the end of it. But obviously, if my quads, legs in general, are fried, then there is no point doing more. But it will just depend. So we'll see. Hmm. 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 Oh, the burn is real. So I actually might have been wrong, because I took my feet and I put them closer together so I can have more of a quad stimulus. It felt a bit better, but you know, it might have been because on the first set I did a wider stance, so now they're closer. They're sort of, when I put my feet closer, it's not a different exercise, but it does hit different muscles differently, obviously. So that might have played a role. That's why it felt a bit better, a bit easier. But in any case, I'm gonna do one more and then decide if it's a drop set or another set. Oh, but my quads are burning up. I am gonna adopt a. I'm gonna put my feet closer together this time around. Well, I guess this time around as well, just like before, because I just think it felt better, especially for the quads. And obviously, if your feet are closer together, then it's more quad prevalent than it is, you know, other leg parts that are coming into play to help. But let's do that one up. Huh. Oh. Huh. All right, so for the last one, I'm not going to do drop set. We're going to go straight to do the fourth one with the weight that we had before on. Shorter stance for the legs, for the feet, so we can keep it quad focused. And that will be good enough. Uh, huh. Oh, I'm gonna roll out of here. Right. So instead of doing a drop set, I'm gonna do 2 sets of Smith squats. I haven't put a lot of weight on, to be honest. It's only 50 plus the bar, around 70 kilos. Obviously, my goal is not really the weight, but it's the depth and the pause at the bottom that I'm looking for. So we're gonna start the set. I'm gonna make it as painful as I possibly can. But yeah, that's pretty much the plan. Right, so last set for the day. I really don't have much else to give, to be honest, especially when it comes to quads. They're fried. But we said two, so we're going to do two. Hopefully you can see what I meant when I said that I'm going to make this as painful as I possibly can. Obviously, speaking from a safety perspective, I'm not talking of painful as in going to injure myself. But on the way down, while I'm at all the way down, I pause there, and then I shoot up, and obviously my bum goes way below parallel. My knees are in front of my toes, so you get that extra stretch on the quads again. I've said this probably 152 times by now, but stretch the muscles, stretch the quads. It's what you're looking for if your goal is size. If your goal is anything else, yeah, I mean, it's still good to stretch them, but you know what I mean? Other things like how much weight you have on the bar becomes a lot more of an issue if you're doing strength training. I mean, if you're doing cardiovascular exercise, I don't think you need this. Certainly not to the degree that I'm doing it. But anyway, let's do the last set. Oh, I feel lightheaded. Oh. Right, that's good enough. We're gonna call it a day. I'm gonna see you tomorrow with some arms. I'm gonna stay here for a while.